The end of day wizard is to run your end of day at the end of each working day, and this wizard will help you process deposit slips so you can balance all the money that you've collected for the day and posted, charge review to review charges and any potential errors, to close your day to make sure that you can generate a report on all the charges and payments that you've posted for the day, to submit your claims in the claim submission wizard, which is still a part of the end of day wizard, and then finally to look at any unbilled claims that when you do submit your claims live, AdvancedMD can take a second look at them to see if there are any potential errors. So let's pretend it's the end of the day, the office is now closed, and we've finished posting all our charges and payments, and now we want to be able to generate a few reports, balance our deposit slip, and also send off our claims electronically. To do so, up on the toolbar we have our green whistle, the end of day wizard. Go ahead and click on that to start the process of closing your day. The end of day wizard pulls up. On the left hand side you have a checklist. We have 6 items there to check off before we can close our end of day wizard. The first item is highlighted in blue, the deposit slip. Over the right hand side it gives an overview of what this is going to be doing. First we want to go ahead and print a deposit slip for any payments that we posted in AdvancedMD this day. If we haven't posted any, we could go ahead and click the next button. Because you haven't completed this step, we could click OK and go to the next one. It's not going to check it green here because we actually didn't run it. But again, the purpose of the deposit slip is if you posted any payments this day or since your last end of day wizard, which if it was done in a perfect world would have been last night. So if there's no deposits today, we can bypass it. We can always click back and go back to it and then run it for this example to show you what this is all about. This will pull up a little area here when we want to generate our deposit slip. You can do it by provider. If you leave it blank, it'll pull all the providers for the deposit slips that we posted payments for. You can group them, report as billed. Basically, if you leave the defaults alone and click generate, it'll usually pull everything. And as you can see here, since I've done my last end of day wizard, is that I've posted payments for Homer Simpson only. And here, he paid $100, Blue Cross Blue Shield pays $700, and then the dummy carrier paid out $1,000. So this full total that was paid out to Homer Simpson that we posted today in AdvancedMD is $1,800. What we can do is we can go ahead and click and save a copy to this on our desktop. Click on the desktop button. By the default, you'll see that you got a lot of numbers in here, but you can go ahead and type in today's date and perhaps even create a folder by clicking on the Create New Folder button and saying that these are your deposit slips. And then hit enter on the keyboard. It solidifies the folder. Double click on the folder so we can dump this file into it, and the file name I gave it was today's date. So I can go ahead and click and save it. It'll actually save it in there. In fact, if I minimize everything, you can see my desktop, and you'll see up at the top that I have the deposit folder that I created. Double click on it. There's my PDF file. When I double click on that, it pulls up the deposit slip. Now I'm going to close out of these screens here and go back to my report. Now the other two options that we have in the screen besides saving a copy to our desktop is certainly we can print it or send it as an email or an email link. When we click on it, you can see the send link and the send copy. If I click on send link, it'll open up my email editor, and I can type in the name of the person I want to send it to up at the top and then click send. And as you can see down here, here's a link that once the other person gets it, can click on it and it will pull up the deposit slip. Close out of that. I can click on the email again and click on send copy. Send copy pulls it into your email editor, in which case it puts it in PDF format. Type in the name of the person and click send. And make sure it doesn't sit in your outbox. Before we move out, down at the bottom of the screen you can see that it does have it time stamped, the date and time. Now back in the end of day wizard, you'll see the deposit slip is checked and it's moved on to the Claim Center charge review. Now, by having the deposit slip checked doesn't mean that you necessarily printed the deposit slip. It only means in Advanced MD you actually open up the deposit slip screen, and then when you close out, it checks it off. So be sure that you have printed the deposit slip. Moving on to the Claim Center Charge Review, we'll run it. In the Claim Center up at the top, you see we have quite a few tabs. The first highlighted tab is the Charge Review. The number to the right of it, 33, represents the number of charges that have not been reviewed and approved by the biller. Now, the purpose of having the Charge Review tab is for the biller to have the final say in any and all charges that are posted in Advanced MD. And you can see right now we have 33 charges that have been posted that the biller has yet to review and approve. Once they're approved, they'll be removed from this Charge Review screen. For example, if you take a look down below, you'll see we have quite a few batches by different users who posted charges that haven't been reviewed and approved yet. If you aren't using batches, you will have the list of the names of users over here, but under the batch column, you'll see it'll say none. Now, the 33 charges are divided among those batches. For example, batch number 24, Kirt, when I click on it, there's only one charge. Click on the next batch above that, it has 4 charges. In any case, the total amount will add up to 33. You don't have to be the batch user in order to approve the charges. For example, if I go up on the toolbar and I want to check what batch I have open now, I can click on it, and you see my batch number is 13. And when it comes to approving charges, I don't have to be in these batches. I can approve all of them, no matter what batch I'm in. Now, when it comes to batches in the perfect world, basically you wouldn't have these batches open the slate. It would be on a day-by-day basis. But nonetheless, it's an example here. If you don't see any charges that are pulling up in here in your charge review screen, and you know that you have posted charges, you want to check on your role setup to make sure you have the correct box checked. For example, up in the Utilities menu, down to Role Setup, select the role, whoever is in charge of posting charges. In this case, it's the administrator. And then I'm going to go down here under the Financials category and make sure my Review Charges is checked. If it's not checked, then it automatically bypasses this charge review screen. There are 2 things to keep in mind when it comes to generating claims and/or statements. And I'll refer to these as gate number 1 and gate number 2. Now, the first gate is what we're looking at right here, the charge review screen. And behind this gate, and not being released on any statements or generating to any claims, are the charges you see listed below. For example, the date of service for due Daphne, September 26, is not going to pull to any claim or statement until the biller comes in, looks at it, and approves it. Of course, if there are errors, the biller will fix it, and we'll go over that in just a second here. So by clicking on it and clicking Approve, it'll remove due Daphne from here and release it from gate number 1. Now, once we release all of these, they'll go to the second gate, and we haven't covered that yet, which is closing our day. And specifically, we need to generate the daysheet final and clicking on the Close Day button, and we'll cover that in just a second.